What's up guys, Aaron here. It's been a long time, but I'm back with another video. So I went through and put on some on Instagram what questions you guys would like answered in videos going forward. What topics you'd like me to discuss. Try to get back a little more active. I've been super busy with my Ironman training. My parents were here. So yeah, just normal daily life stuff. But today I'm going to go over probably one of the more important and more frequently asked questions I got, which is what should an off-season schedule, training schedule look like? What should I be doing, etc. So we'll dive right into it. Here we go. Okay, so what an off-season training program should look like, what should it entail, etc., is a very common question. It's also a very important question because getting it right can set you up for success when it matters most, and getting it wrong can definitely put you back and kind of keep you treading water, several months down the line. So I'll try to keep it as simple as possible. Again, as I made this video, I made a similar video last year where I talked about what your summer training schedule should look like. This is going to be similar in terms of its format, but also just understanding I am not your special teams coach. I am not your strength coach at your school. I'm not your head coach. For some of you, I'm not even your private punting coach, right? So you have to work around all of those things. You have to work around your schedule that your school sets out for you. Now, if you have the freedom to make your own schedule, that's great. But I'm going to give you just a general overview of what you should be doing, how you should be thinking, and kind of like what your game plan should be. Okay, so number one, take a break. A lot of you are still in playoffs. Some of you have just finished your seasons, and you gotta take a break. You absolutely have to think about giving your mind, giving your body a rest, okay? So number one, take a break. If you're still in playoffs or whether you just finished, the general rule should be give yourself 7 to 10 to 14 days minimum where you don't kick, you don't lift, you don't do anything. Give your body a mental break, right? It's the holidays. Use this time to be with your family, be with your friends, be with your partners, whatever you want to be, okay? So take a little break. Now, does that mean you can't do anything? No, of course. You can do drills. You can, catch and mold a football. You can do whatever you want from that point of view. Kickers, I don't know what you all could do because I don't kick. But, you can have a ball in your hands, but don't get tempted to kick. Don't hurt yourself. Don't overdo it. Just give yourself a mental break, okay? If you're planning to go to Vegas or a showcase this winter, it does change a little bit, okay? I'll use Vegas because that's our big camp, obviously in the middle of January. I think it's the 15th through the 17th this year. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you're planning to go to Vegas, then fortunately and unfortunately, you almost have to make Vegas, in a way, an extension of your season to an extent, okay? You can still take a bye week. You can still take a bye 10 days. But you don't want to get out of your groove, not kick until January 1st, and then try to cram everything into 2 weeks worth of training, and then expect to perform well. So for those of you guys that are going to Vegas, or if you have another showcase this winter that's important to you, okay, take a couple days off after playoffs, and then I would be kicking, 2, maybe 3 times a week, lifting 2, maybe 3 times a week, very similar to your in-season schedule. To prepare for Vegas, okay? And even then, the last 2 weeks before Vegas, I would probably just be going through a mock workout, a mock Vegas, a couple times a week. So I think it's 8 field goals, 5 kickoffs, and 6 punts, and just do that, 2 or 3 times through, 2 or 3 times a week, okay? Remember, on Vegas, Friday and Saturday, we only coach. There's not a lot of competition. And on Sunday, we do that circuit that I just gave you. So for those of you guys that can do that. For those of you that don't have Vegas, okay, unless there is something special. So for instance, like if I'm planning on going to Seattle sometime before Vegas, okay, I would even go as far as saying take off until I get there, or take off until that weekend, and then use that weekend as a springboard. And this is not just for me, this is any of your guys who have private coaches or anything like that. Use that first weekend back with your private coach as a springboard into what it is you're doing, okay? So a springboard into your off season. I would have a punt journal, which I'll make another video about. But I would have a journal where I have 3 or 4 things that I like, 3 or 4 things that I didn't like from my season. And I would say, set my goals, things I want to fix or be better at, etc., going into this off season. And I would spend that first weekend with my coach, myself, or whoever your private coach is, saying, how can we go about fixing these things, and then start from that first session going into it. Remember, that's phase 1. I've talked about it a lot last year. Phase 1 is my favorite part of the year to coach because it's the most technical part of season. I don't have kids do any sort of directional, no really, like crazy backed up. It's all just punting straight, getting your technique back, getting your legs back underneath you, etc. And keep in mind, at the college level, which some of you guys obviously are aiming for, from January until spring ball, all you're doing is lifting and running, right? Early in the morning. You're not kicking 5 days a week. You're not doing that. In fact, you can't because your legs are so sore all the time. So biggest thing I can tell you is your focus should be technique when you kick and building a foundation physically after a long season. Because typically during season, we didn't lift, to get PRs, to put on weight on the bar. You maintained. So your strength and explosiveness have kind of decreased. Then you're going to take some time off, and then we're going to get back into it going into 2022. Okay. So general overview, take some time off. If you're going to see a coach, it should be starting to talk about and look at and focus early on your goals and technical things you want to fix going into the new year. Okay. So number 1, take a break. Number 2, I base everything I do off the college system because I think it's the most structure. Each high school is different. Keep in mind, you have to do what your high school asks you to do, but some are in the 0 period, some lift in the afternoon, some it's optional. So I'm going to give you a rough outline of what I would do if I had it my way for specialists. Okay. So number 2, from a schedule, I would be lifting Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I would be lifting. Well, that's what we did at UCLA. I saw guys put on 50 pounds, lose 50 pounds, make PRs. They did everything they needed to be able to do in those 4 days. And the reason it was structured like that was because Monday, Tuesday was hot and heavy, man. You went after it, you lifted hard, you ran hard, you were beat. Wednesday was a break. Now on Wednesday, some guys still went in and did extra arms or core, etc. Thursday, Friday, you freaking bang, you go after it. Friday is one of your hardest days of the week, and then you have Saturday, Sunday to rest. So typically lifting 4 days a week is enough. If you want to go in a 5th day and hit some auxiliary stuff, arms, shoulders, gun show, whatever you want to do, that's fine. Core work. I would recommend on an extra day getting more mobility in, functional movement, body weight, core work, stretching, all that kind of good stuff. Okay, but a general rule of thumb is 4 days, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. That gives you a rest day on Wednesday and a rest day on Saturday, Sunday. Now, if you're feeling super good, you can kick maybe 2 of those days, but even then, I'm kicking once a week from January probably till the middle or end of February. Okay. I'm looking at guys on Instagram and Twitter that just keep going, right? They're sophomores in high school, freshmen in high school. For the love of God, fellas, chill out, right? There's no reason to be banging 3 or 4 days a week while you're trying to make strength gains. In fact, it doesn't make any sense in the early part of the year. If you're lifting and running and getting conditioned the way you should be, there's no way physically possible you should be able to kick 3 or 4 days a week. It doesn't work. You're skimping somewhere, okay? So I would be kicking once a week at least through January. Okay. Again, if you have something where you're going to see your private coach, your coach is coming in, your coach is making a trip, and you want to do more, absolutely, there's special occasions. But even then, those sessions should be short, sharp, form focused, not just banging 200 balls. And if your coach is having you do that, again, that's, in my opinion, that's just not smart based on where you are physically. Okay. The general overview for phase 1 is to get stronger, to lay a good foundation, to get more flexible, and to start to attack your weaknesses. Okay. So from January until the middle to the end of February, it should be about lifting first, mobility, agility, stretching, and then kicking once or twice a week, maybe depending how your leg feels. That other day kicking might be, a Wednesday. So like a Wednesday, Sunday, or a Wednesday, Saturday, but you need at least one day where you're doing nothing. Because again, when I was at UCLA a long time ago, and maybe the science has changed, but I doubt it, they made you 3 days a week. We had off. And again, we'll say 2 because a lot of days we would go in and, like I said, do some extra stuff, but it's not smart to overdo it and blow yourself out. Remember, you don't have to perform well again realistically until what? May, Vegas, summer college camps, you know, training camp in August, you have 6-7 months, boys. Use it wisely, okay? So from a kicking perspective, once a week, unless there's a special occasion, and even then, your coach should be very focused on you being form specific, okay? I'm a big, big proponent of balance. I also think if some of you guys are playing other sports, that's another question I get from your scheduling, then you're gonna have to kind of kick around that. So like, for instance, playing soccer, okay? Soccer is like a terrible, I wouldn't say it's a terrible cross trainer, but it's a terrible cross trainer because you're just running long distance. You're training your legs to kind of be able to go slow for a long period of time instead of being explosive in a short period of time. So if that's happening, you're gonna have to do your best to balance kicking and lifting, but you can't lift super heavy if you're playing soccer because you don't want to hurt yourself, right? So for those specific plans, again, you can leave a comment below and I can do my best to answer what I would do for your specific situation. But I would say more often than not, that most kids now understand kicking and punting is what they want to do. They've invested a lot of money. So kicking once a week through the middle of February would kind of be ideal, okay? That's really where I kind of want to take this for now, off-season training program. And I'll make another video when it comes time to kind of increase the volume. But in reality, boys, from now until, let's just say February, you know, the last week of February going into March, 1 to 2 times a week of kicking, 4 days a week of lifting, with an optional 5th day for, you know, don't go in that 5th day and bang more legs, right? Arms, core, but even then it should be arms, core, mobility, stretching, yoga, that kind of thing, okay? I would not push it past then. Just start to get your body right, okay? Because realistically, the big things that you guys all train for now is starting in May till the end of July, and then going into season, okay? So I hope that answers a lot of questions. If you have any, again, more questions, leave them in the comments down below. I enjoy talking about this kind of stuff. I think it's important. I'll be getting my camp schedule up here in the next couple weeks, and also my development weekend schedule, you know, places that I go train. So Atlanta, Houston, California, Seattle, all those places that I try to go more often than not. Obviously being here in Nashville, trying to build it up here. I'm setting up my pre-draft stuff. You're gonna go out and get 7 to 10 days with some of the boys, Ryan Wright, Dan Whelan, Seth Vernon, some big punters training. We're setting that up right now, working on some other stuff, like I said, with camps, with just a lot of stuff that I got coming up. So I'll be posting videos about those. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, if you haven't subscribed, we're like 18 subscribers away from 2K. Please think about subscribing. I post a lot more shorts now about those punts just because I think they're fun to post and get out for you guys to see. But I will be making more content as we go into the off season, as things settle down. And then, yeah, shoot a like on this video, share it with guys that might have the same questions. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I hope that answers some questions, you guys. We'll check back again towards the end of February talking about the next phase of the off season. And again, hope to see you guys soon. Peace.